so that we're making sure we're staying to the standard. But if you don't stay disciplined, then you can't stay to the standard. So building consistency on the line every shift, every time, every day. So we're going to talk a little bit about this morning. Next. What is standard work? Most of us all know about standard work. We use it hopefully every day, but again, the discipline to the standard work is what I really want to talk about very heavily today. Defining the foundation of consistent, safe, and efficient operation. The one way is the best way. The safest, highest quality, most efficient method known today. So when we put together our standard work instructions, we want to make sure that it's the safest, highest quality, and the most efficient method that we can use to be able to create those standard work instructions. We want those to be documented and visual, written instructions, photos, and visual aids everyone can follow. So again, when we're manufacturing the standard work, we're manufacturing the standard work for everybody. So it has to be consistent so that Russ and then Avi and all of us understand what the standard work. So we got to make sure it's got pictures, photos, written instructions, and it's written in a way that everybody can understand about how to follow the process. Takt time driven, work sequences aligned to customer demand and cycle time. So it doesn't make any sense for us to write standard work instructions that don't meet the standard or the takt time. So if it takes me longer than the takt time or what time I have to be able to load the fixture and do the quality checks and everything that I need to do and not have them within the takt time, then that defeats the purpose. And then it needs to be owned by the team, created from input from the people doing the work every day. Why is that important? Why is it important for me to understand from someone that's doing the work to help me to create the standard work instructions?
Because they know.
Absolutely. They're the subject matter experts. They're the ones that create or do the job over and over and every day. So they see what flows, what is good as far as the standard process, and then they understand also the deviations. So anytime that we're working standard work instructions or building or creating, I ask that you get the subject matter experts involved. That's those folks out there. Not us here, it's those folks out there, so we need to get them involved about how do I create those standard work. Next. Why standard work matters. The data is clear. Disciplined processes drive measurable results across quality, safety, and efficiency. So again, the data shows that 80% of quality defects trace back to what? Process deviations. What is process deviation? Deviations from the standard, exactly. Deming said that variation is the enemy of standardization. So if we don't hold to the standard, then what we're doing is we're deviating from the process. And this says that 80% of the defects trace back what? Right back to the standard, right? So when we start doing problem solving and different things because we have a failure in the process or the quality of the product, where do we go? We go right back to the standard. Let's look and make sure. A lot of 80% of the time it's going to tell me that I'm not following the process. 3 times faster new operator training when standard work is in place. 3 times. Why is that? Why is it quicker for me to train someone to the standard versus something else? Right?
Because they're following the same way.
Absolutely, they're following the standard. So every time that we train someone, we've got to make sure that we're training them to the standard because they've got the visual, they've got the written, and they've got the process. So we want to make sure that we're training the individuals to the standard. 50% reduction in safety incidents with consistent processes, Alex. So 50% of reductions if we'll follow the standards. 30% improvement in first time through quality with discipline. What is first time through? We call it FTT. It means first time through means I put a product in, a good product comes out. Right? There's no deviation, there's no repair, there's no quality checks, there's nothing in between. Put good product in, good product comes out. 30% improvement if we'll follow the standard. Okay? The data shows it. Next. Consistency is the key. Why doing it the same way every time drives results across the entire line? Predictable quality. When every operator follows the same steps, the output is repeatable and defects become visible immediately. We're doing the same time. I always talk about three things. That's always capability, repeatability, and then sustainability, right? That's the three key things. So if we're following the work instructions, the standards, if they're correct, and I'm following those correctly, then I'm going to repeat, and my quality is going to be the same over and over again because I'm not deviating. Faster problem solving. A stable process is easier to troubleshoot. You can see what changed when something goes wrong. Once again, going back to the standards, the data shows them that 80% of my quality defects is going to go right back because I'm deviating to the process. Team confidence. People feel more confident when they know the right way to do the job and see everyone else doing it the same way. We're all doing the standard, we're all doing it the same way, so once again it says that it builds team confidence. And then continuous improvement. You cannot improve a process that is different every time. Standard work is the baseline for Kaizen, for the Gemba walks, the different things that we do to improve. So we cannot improve the process if the process is different every time. So if Floyd does it different, Alex does it different, and I do it different, then I can't improve the process because we're not doing it standard. We're not doing it the same. So we got to make sure that from a continuous improvement aspect, everybody's doing it the same, and that it all leads back to the standard work. Next, follow the process every time. The daily discipline cycle for the operator and the team leaders. I've talked to you several times. I've been here over 9 months with you, and one of the things that I keep consistently talk about repeating is start with the standard. Write the standards, follow the standards, train to the standards, and audit to the standards. That's where the discipline comes in, folks. It's easy to write the standards. Sometimes it's very difficult for us to train to the standards. But the one thing we got to do is we got to audit the standards. And I ask you in some of the training classes that we're working on right now, plan to train to the standards, audit the standards. Every day, you as team leaders should be validating the process somewhere in your lines. Take the standard work, read the standard, and check is the operator doing the process to the standard work. Then, after I do that, then I, as a team leader, can understand that I have a consistent process, and I'm 99.9% that my product is good, right? But if I walk up and Russ is not following the standard, guess what? I got a deviation. I got to fix it. I got to fix it right then. We got to go back and we got to address the reason that we're not following the standard. So review the standard worksheet before beginning the job. So every day you should take a sale and look at it and say, okay, today I'm going to do 2 sales. I'm going to do number 1 and I'm going to do number 2. I'm going to take the standard and I'm going to make sure Floyd and Alex are following the standards. Then I can leave with confidence that I'm making good product, right? Number 2, perform each step as written. Follow the documented sequence, timing, and method. If I'm not following the standard, what should happen? Correct it. But one thing is I got to ask a question. Is the operator not following the process? Why? Is that because he's just not going to do the process correctly or doesn't understand the process, or the process is not the best that it can be? Several times you will find out that the subject matter experts, those folks out, have found a better way. And that's the reason I got to ask why. If they found a better way, then we as a team have to confirm, is it the better way? If it is, guess what we do? We change the standard, right? Number 3, flag abnormalities immediately. If something does not match the standard, call it right out at that time. Call it out. Raise your hand. Let's put up the red flag. Let's find out why we're not following the standard. Document and communicate, log deviations and share with the team leader or supervisor, and then improve the standard. Use problems as opportunities to update and strengthen the process. One thing about the standard work instructions, they are a living document. That means they're always should be changing, right? So we should be always auditing the standard work and then looking for, is there any changes to the standard work? And so this is not a dead document, it's a living document. So we should always be reviewing, revising, and then changing. Common breakdowns, identifying failure points and the disciplines that prevent them. What goes wrong? Skipping steps when rushed or short-staffed. How many times does that happen? You don't raise your hand, right? It happens all the time. And so what do? Is we short-staff or we skip the steps because we're in a hurry. Outdated standard worksheets on the floor. New operators trained by word of mouth only. How many times does that happen? Happens all the time. I know it does. Guys, I've been in the industry too long. Understand.